You are taking your calcium supplement every single day, but your bone scans are not improving. What if the secret to strong bones was not just what you eat, but when you eat it? Today, we are revealing a Japanese doctor's ancient secret, the 3 bells of bone nourishment, a simple daily rhythm that tells your skeleton when it is time to rebuild. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter, and to be our guide into this profound and very wise philosophy of eating, we are joined by a physician who has spent his life teaching the wisdom of living in harmony with our body's natural rhythms. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. In Japan, we have a very old and a very wise saying, bones listen before the mind does. And they listen to 3 daily bells, the morning bell, the midday bell, and the evening bell. If each of these bells rings with the right kind of protein and its important companions, the bones will feel supported and they will grow strong. I had a patient, a woman, who was doing what she thought was the right thing. She was taking her calcium supplement every single night, just as her doctor had told her. But every year, her bone density was still declining. She was very frustrated and very frightened. Her bones were not listening because no one was speaking to them at the right times of the day.
And that is exactly what our guide is all about today. We are going to teach you how to speak to your bones in a language that they can understand. In this detailed masterclass, in our next section, we will first have a masterclass on the science of bone health so you can understand why this protocol works. Then Dr. Hinohara is going to teach us how to answer the morning bell, the midday bell, and the evening bell with the right foods at the right time. It is a true blessing to have this kind of deep knowledge to be able to learn how to work in a beautiful and a harmonious rhythm with our own bodies. If you are ready to learn this gentle healing rhythm to help rebuild your bones, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. And this is a deep dive into the true science of bone strength that you will not want to miss. Okay, doctor, before we learn the beautiful rhythm of the 3 bells, it is so very important for our viewers at home to understand the deep science of why this protocol is so powerful. You have said that our bones are not just simple piles of calcium. What are they truly?
We must learn to think of our skeleton as a beautiful house. The protein that we eat, especially the collagen, is the strong wooden frame of that house. The minerals, like the calcium, are the tiles and the plaster that make the house hard and strong. If the wooden frame of the house is weak and thin, the beautiful tiles will have nothing solid to stick to, and they will simply slide off.
That is a perfect and a very powerful analogy. Let's look at the deep science of this for a moment. Your bones are not dead like a rock. They are living, dynamic, and constantly changing tissue, and they are built on a flexible living framework, or a scaffold, that is made almost entirely of the protein collagen. The minerals like calcium and phosphate are then carefully woven into this beautiful collagen matrix to give it its hardness and its great strength. So as you so wisely said, doctor, if the collagen framework of the bone is weak, taking more and more calcium is like trying to put more tiles onto a crumbling and a rotting frame. It simply will not work. And this brings us to the first major problem that so many seniors face. As we have discussed in our videos on muscle loss after the age of 60, our body becomes a little bit hard of hearing to the important signal that it gets from the protein that we eat. This is a very important scientific phenomenon that is called anabolic resistance. It means that to be able to stimulate the important repair and rebuilding process in our tissues, like in our muscles and in our bone's precious collagen framework, most seniors need to be eating about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal. A small nibbling amount of protein throughout the day will no longer send a strong enough signal to the body to begin the building process.
So we need a strong and a very consistent protein signal to be able to rebuild the frame of the house. But doctor, you also mentioned the companions that must come along with the protein and the calcium.
Yes, the house cannot be built with just the frame and the tiles. You need the full team of skilled workers to be able to do the job properly. In our body, this is what we call the nutrient team. Let's introduce the full team to our viewers at home. As we have said, protein is the frame, calcium is the bricks. But then we need the team of workers to come in. Vitamin D3 is the doorman that opens the door and allows the calcium to be absorbed from our gut into our body. Vitamin K2 is the traffic cop that stands at the intersection, and it tells that calcium exactly where to go. It directs it into the bones, and it keeps it away from our soft arteries. And finally, magnesium is the conductor of the entire orchestra. It helps to activate the vitamin D, and it helps to keep the whole beautiful process in a state of perfect balance. So let's go back to your patient, the woman whose bone density was declining, even though she was taking her calcium. What was missing from her team?
She was only hiring one single worker for a very big job. She was taking the bricks, the calcium supplement, every single night. But she was not eating enough protein, especially at her breakfast, so the frame of her bones was becoming weak. And she was not providing her body with any of the other essential members of the team, the doorman, the traffic cop, and the conductor. Her construction site was missing most of its most important workers, and this is exactly why her bones were not getting any stronger.
It is a beautiful and a blessed example of how our incredible bodies are so perfectly designed to work in a state of beautiful and intelligent harmony, with all of these different and wonderful nutrients playing their own special and very important role. So our masterclass has taught us that we need the full nutrient team on the job site every single day. We need the protein frame, the calcium bricks, and all of the wonderful vitamin and mineral workers to be able to do the job properly. Doctor, let's now learn the beautiful and the gentle rhythm of your protocol. How do we answer the morning bell?
Yes, the morning bell is perhaps the most important of all, because it must break the long overnight fast, and it must send the first strong rebuilding signal of the day to our bones. Our two wonderful foods for this first bell are cottage cheese, or skyr, and whole pasture-raised eggs. And this was the first and the most important change for my patient, the woman with the weak and thinning bones. She used to skip her breakfast, or she would just have a simple piece of toast. For her bones, her morning bell was silent. We had her begin her day with a small and a very simple meal. Some days, it was a small bowl of a high-quality cottage cheese with some fresh berries. On other days, it was 2 simple, soft, scrambled eggs. This was the very first signal that her bones had heard in the morning for many, many years.
And that is such a powerful first signal to send. Let's look at the science of this. Both the cottage cheese and the eggs are absolutely packed with high-quality, complete protein. This is essential for beginning to rebuild that important collagen frame of the bones. They also both provide a very powerful dose of that ignition switch amino acid leucine, which is what is needed to be able to overcome that anabolic resistance that we talked about in part 2. And what is so beautiful and so intelligent about this particular pairing of foods for the morning is that they also provide the mineral bricks at the very same time. A good quality cottage cheese or skyr is a wonderful and a very rich source of calcium. So with this one simple meal, you are delivering both the frame and the bricks to the construction site at the exact same time. Now, what about for the middle of our day, doctor? How do we answer the midday bell?
The midday bell is all about providing a sustained level of support for our body during our most active hours of the day. The wonderful foods for this important bell are wild salmon or sardines and the humble white beans. For my patient, her lunch used to be a very small and a very simple sandwich. We had her change this to a large and a very beautiful salad. And on top of that salad, she would put a small can of wild sardines with the bones. And she would have a small scoop of white beans on the side. This became her main rebuilding meal of the day.
And this is another incredibly intelligent and synergistic combination. Let's start with the salmon and the sardines. As we know, these beautiful fatty fish are packed with the powerfully anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, which help to calm the chronic inflammation that can accelerate bone loss. And very importantly, when you eat the sardines with their tiny soft bones, you are getting one of nature's most perfect and most bioavailable sources of both calcium and vitamin D. You are getting the bricks and the doorman all in one perfect package.
And then you add the white beans.
The beautiful creamy white beans are a wonderful source of plant-based protein to help support the collagen frame. But they are also absolutely packed with other essential worker minerals like magnesium and boron, which, as you said, doctor, are the quiet helpers that make the entire system work more efficiently. It is a true blessing to see how these simple and traditional foods can work together in such a perfect and a harmonious design. This is such a complete and a very powerful protocol, doctor. We love sharing it with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So the morning bell breaks the fast with a powerful protein and calcium signal, and the midday bell provides a sustained and very anti-inflammatory support for our most active hours. It is a perfect rhythm for the day. Doctor, this brings us to the final bell. How do we answer the evening bell?
Yes, the evening bell is very important. It must provide the final rebuilding signal for the day to support our bones while we sleep, but it must also be done in a very gentle way that does not burden our digestion right before we go to bed. A wonderful and a very convenient food for this final bell of the day is a simple, skinless rotisserie chicken or turkey breast.
And this is a very smart and a very strategic choice for the evening meal. A simple 3-ounce portion of a lean chicken or turkey breast provides a massive dose of high-quality protein, about 25 to 26 grams, and a very powerful dose of that important ignition switch amino acid leucine. This provides a very strong signal to your muscles and to your bones' collagen framework to continue the important rebuilding process all throughout the night. And because this protein is very lean, especially when you remove the skin, it is much, much easier for an older person's digestive system to be able to handle in the evening when our digestion is naturally a little bit slower.
And for my patient, the woman with the weak bones, this simple meal completed her daily protocol. She would have a small and a very simple dinner with a little piece of the rotisserie chicken and some gently steamed green vegetables. With this meal, she was now successfully answering all 3 of the bells every single day.
So she was now answering all 3 bells. That is a wonderful and a very complete daily plan. Now, Doctor, the source text for our video provides a beautiful summary of 4 quiet and simple rules to help our viewers at home remember this entire philosophy of eating. Can you please share them with us?
Of course. These are the 4 rules to build strong bones. Rule number 1 is protein with your meals 3 times a day. This is to ensure that the beautiful wooden frame of your bones is always being renewed and repaired. Rule number 2 is calcium with your meals in small portions. This is so the tiles and the plaster have a good and a strong place to settle. Your body absorbs calcium much, much better in smaller doses with your food than it does in one large dose all at once.
And what is the third rule, doctor? This one is about our nutrient team.
Yes. Rule number 3 is to remember that vitamin D rides with fat, vitamin K2 rides with the meal, and magnesium rides throughout the day. You must be a good host and make sure that all of the important workers are on the job site.
And the final and very practical rule of the protocol.
The final rule is to give space between your caffeine and your supplements. You must respect the timing of your medicines and your important nutrients, and you must not let them compete with each other for your body's attention.
And doctor, what was the final result for your patient? The woman who learned to answer the 3 bells every day and to follow these 4 quiet rules.
This is the most beautiful part of her entire story. After 6 months of following this simple, gentle, and very consistent daily rhythm, she went back to her doctor for her next bone scan. And for the very first time in many years, her bone density had not just stopped declining. It had actually shown a significant and a measurable improvement. Her doctor was absolutely amazed. She did not take more calcium. She simply gave her body the beautiful rhythm and the complete team of workers that it needed to be able to heal itself.
That is a truly beautiful and a blessed story of the incredible power of gentle consistency and of working in a beautiful harmony with our body's own natural and intelligent design. Doctor, this has been a truly profound and a revolutionary guide. You have taught us that the true key to fighting back against osteoporosis is not just about taking more calcium, but it is about rebuilding the essential protein framework of our bones by following your beautiful 3 bells ritual. By answering the morning, the midday, and the evening bells with the right kind of protein and the full nutrient team, we now have a complete and a very powerful framework for our senior health. By following this wise and this rhythmic way of eating, our viewers can take a direct and a very real step to helping to prevent and even to reverse the effects of osteoporosis. This knowledge is a true cornerstone of a proactive senior health strategy, one that is so often misunderstood in the West. It is a practical food first way to fight back against the fear of osteoporosis and to live a more confident and an active life.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Your skeleton is not made of stone. It is a quiet and a very beautiful garden. If you water it at the right hour of the day and you give it the right soil and the right nutrients, it will grow strong. I encourage you to listen for the 3 bells in your own day.
That is a beautiful message, Doctor. Our skeleton is a garden. It's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health by embracing the simple, the blessed, and the natural rhythms that our bodies were so perfectly designed with. And of course, it is absolutely essential that you speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have any existing health conditions like kidney disease, or you have already been diagnosed with osteoporosis. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and it completely changed the way that you think about your bone health, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information. And be sure to share it with a friend or a family member who you know might be worried about their bones. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next deep dive into your health and well-being. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know which of the 3 bells, the morning bell, the midday bell, or the evening bell is the one that you need to answer more consistently in your own life. Please share your first step in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.